Every generation grows up hearing the same scary stories. A babysitter alone in a quiet house, a killer hiding in the backseat of a car, a stranger following someone home at night. We call them urban legends or campfire stories. Some people say they're things people tell teenagers to scare them into behaving. But what if the reason these stories never go away is because they didn't start as stories? Tonight, we're talking about the urban legends you already know and the real cases, the real crimes, and the real fears that inspired them. Because the scariest part isn't that these stories exist. It's that someone lived them first.
I do not want to live in any urban legend.
Welcome back to Sisters of the Strange, everybody. I'm Shae.
I'm Landrey.
And I don't think we have anything to talk about before this episode today.
No,
Not
much.
I don't have anything, I don't think. I'm doing a little bit of a different episode. Again, sometimes I like to switch it back and forth. But I feel like we've done the last couple of weeks, we've gone over like some pretty heavy cases. We did Richard Ramirez. Yeah. I did Christian Andriacchio. You did Trans Allegheny. Some of those things are just really heavy to talk about. So we're going to go a little bit more into the spooky vibes, but into a way that's more realistic, I guess. I don't know. Not like serial killer deep dive, but just, I don't know. In some ways that it could be worse because these are stories that everybody's heard, like I mentioned in the intro, but these are ones that are rooted in real events. So they all start somewhere. So tonight I'm going to be going over urban legends that turned out to be very real or started as something very real. So we've done urban legends before.
Yeah.
So this is just a little bit of a different take and different stories, of course. So
I'm a little nervous. Because automatically I just think of all the urban legends I know, and I'm like, I don't want to live in any of them. I don't want them to have ever happened to me at all.
Well, these are ones that I never really thought about there being real cases attached to them. But we talked about it in the last one. Where does this start? Where do these come from? They have to start from something.
Yeah.
You know, there's got to be some kind of truth to these things. Even those terrifying ones like the rake and the black-eyed children. And what else did you cover?
Everything scary.
I don't know. Scary.
Slenderman, all of them.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some sort of something, some true aspect. There's no way your brain just comes up with it. Because I'm pretty sure I said it in that episode too. But even when you dream and you see a face and your brain is or you yourself, you're like, I don't know whose face that was. Well, it's a face you've seen before. Mm-hmm. Your brain physically cannot make up a different face.
Yeah.
And so it's how could my brain make up a rake if it's never seen a rake before or heard of the rake before?
Yeah.
Started somewhere.
Started somewhere. Exactly. So that's kind of where I started with this and just kind of ran with it a little bit. So let's get into the first story. This is the Babysitter and the Man Upstairs. So this is one of the most famous urban legends of all time that I would really think of, and I don't think of this really as an urban legend itself, but it's one of those stories that you hear people tell teenagers or when you're babysitting for the first time and you're, 14, 15 years old or whatever. And you're like, oh, I really hope nothing happens while I'm here because I'm not an adult.
Yeah. What am I going to do?
But it's that story that a teenager puts the kids to bed. She's alone, big quiet house, the phone rings. Nobody's on the other line. Just hear the breathing. And then you hang up the phone and then it calls again. And then you hear a voice on the other end and there's a whisper. You get scared. You hang up the phone. This is just the bones of that story, right? Call the police. They tell her to stay on the line so they can try to see if they can trace the call. And then after a few minutes, the police come or they call back. And then that's when they say the line that everybody and their mother knows. get out of the house right now. The call's coming from inside.
Ugh.
The call's coming from inside the house.
You think I wouldn't have stayed in there anyway? I'd already been gone.
I know. Like, why are we doing that? But there's children. You can't just leave the children.
Fuck these kids. I'm kidding. I'm totally
Fuck them
kidding.
kids.
I'm 1000%
That's my
kidding because I
favorite.
1000% would have already. But that's the thing is I would have grabbed like a knife. I would have been up to the kids. Whether I encounter someone in the process or not, that's part of it. Like I'm getting those kids and I'm getting out of there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what happens if you run into them?
I die, but at least I tried to save the kids.
At least I tried.
Yeah.
So we all know that story. But the part that people don't talk about usually is that this doesn't come from nowhere. This isn't just made up. So there's a real case that's behind this, allegedly. So in 1950, there was a 13-year-old girl named Janet Chrisman, and she was babysitting for a family in Columbia, Missouri. She was alone with the kids. The parents did come home late that night. But when they came home, they had found Janet brutally murdered inside their home. There was no sign of forced entry. There was no clear suspect, and there was never any arrest. To this day, the case still remains unsolved. And while there was no record of phone calls in Janet's case, it sparks that core fear anyways. There was a young girl at home by herself babysitting. There was somebody else there. Who the hell was it? Nobody knows. And then later there were documented cases, like more real police reports of babysitters receiving threatening and harassing phone calls, sometimes traced to nearby rooms or shared lines. So it was just like one of those things that kind of like reoccurred in different settings. So to further detail Janet's case, there was one suspect, but he was never arrested. But the suspect was a 27-year-old male named Robert Mueller, who was an acquaintance of both Chrisman and the couple that she was babysitting for. And she had previously babysitted for this Robert Mueller before.
Yeah.
And apparently Mueller was with the family that Janet was babysitting for. He was friends with them as well. And when they went out, he was said to have gone with them, but then left in the middle of the dinner or whatever plans they had. And he was gone for like 2 hours.
Oh.
And he had left and told them that like he had to go take care of a sick kid at home, but it was determined that his alibi did not match. And so they were like, well, what were you doing for these 2 hours? So people really speculated and are thinking like, oh, well, he went to the house. She let him in.
Yeah, she knew him.
You know, whatever. And then he brutally assaulted her and killed her and then left.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
To a 13-year-old.
Yes. Yes, as a 27-year-old man.
I don't know if when I'm older and I'm a mom, I don't know if I'll ever if I have a daughter and she's like, can I go babysit?
Hell no.
Probably not. I will give you $20 to mow the yard.
Yeah.
Do something around the house.
I'll
pay
make you do something here.
Yeah.
It's just insane. But it's one of those things that it's so real because obviously it's happened and pieces of this story have reoccurred in multiple other cases that have been, documented by police reports and things. But babysitting is supposed to be safe. Like it used to be safe,
Yeah.
before this apparently. But like people let their kids babysit starting way young. Like she was 13.
It's like a first time job.
That's
like your first.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be a certain age. You don't have to have any of the stuff you have to go work at like a restaurant at 16 or whatever,
mature for your age to watch a kid younger than you by a family that trusts you or you trust them.
And that's the thing that's scary is normally when you're a babysitter, you are babysitting for a
somebody
family that you know.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time. Yeah.
But I mean, most of the time, whenever you get murdered, it is by someone who knows you. It's not normally a random assault. So.
Yeah. Also true. But yeah.
The whole lore behind babysitting makes me uncomfortable, not only because the murder situation, I also don't want my kids to ever have to be in charge of someone else's kid because
what if something happens?
Can you imagine? I don't know how, but like that is so much pressure and we don't think about it. Like I didn't think about it when I was babysitting at 14, 15, 16. I didn't think about the pressure I was under.
No.
And then now I think about it. I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot of pressure to like
somebody
take
put me
care
in
of a child
control
like
of their
that.
kid.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Do you remember when we were babysitting for Echo and she had her lamp in her front door attached to her phone and she turned it on and off
Oh my God.
and locked the door
Yes.
and unlocked it?
We
And
were
we
like-
were like we didn't even have to like do anything because she'd already put Harrison to sleep and then they
Mhm.
left. Scared the shit out of us. And then she called us like laughing. She's like, yeah, I saw that, because she had like a video camera
Yeah.
in there too. It was like,
We were like,
fuck. Jesus Christ.
What was happening? We were just sitting on the couch.
Yeah, that's the night also when we got into town. I got pulled over and he was like, the cop was like, you're about to be out past curfew. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I've been working and I'm taking, because we were on Bowie. I was taking
Mhm.
you home. I was like, I'm taking her home.
It's always on Bowie.
I've been pulled over on that road so many times. But I was like,
Twice with me.
literally twice with you. But I was like, I'm just trying to take her home and then I'm going home. And you're allowed to be out past curfew if you were working.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, here, I have proof. And he held me there until it was after curfew. And he was like, well, my printer won't work. So just get home. I was like, I was trying to go home anyway.
Yeah, I was already going to be home by the time you would have finished this.
Yeah, I'm
I would have
like,
already been home.
This was not what I was trying to do. I was taking her home and I was going home. Like we really have been. I was
Yeah.
babysitting.
Mhm. Yeah. Not in town either.
No, I think we got lost on the way there too.
Struggling. We were struggling.
Random. Yeah,
Real safe babysitters.
that's scary.
Mm-hmm. So that's story number 1.
Mm-mm.
Are you ready for story number 2?
Probably not.
So story number 2 is the killer in the back seat.
No.
Yeah, this is a scary one. So, but it usually goes something like this. There's a woman driving home alone at night. Another car starts flashing its headlights behind her, following her. She's scared to death, thinking that this person behind her
Trying to
in
get
the
her.
car is trying to get her to pull over so that they can kidnap her, kill her, sell her to the cartel, whatever it may be. She refuses to stop. She speeds home, stops at a gas station. There's many variations of this story, but runs inside, calls the police, only to find out that the driver of the other car wasn't trying to hurt her, but they were trying to warn her because they saw somebody hiding in her back seat.
Yeah.
Before we
I'd be
move
checking
on,
my back seat.
yeah,
Don't you worry.
Before we move on, I'm always checking my back seat.
Constantly.
And how do you not feel the presence of another human being?
Yeah, because I feel the presence when there's not one there.
Correct. I can feel the presence when there's not somebody there.
Yeah.
But I can definitely feel the presence when there is somebody there. I can be in a dead sleep, especially in the morning. Like I'm in a dead sleep and then my husband will be standing over me before he leaves.
Damien, don't do that.
And I'll wake up before he even bends over to give me a kiss because I can feel him standing there.
Yeah.
So I wake up in my
Yeah.
ugly morning self. But
But you feel
same
it.
principle. I can feel him standing there.
One time Donnie bent over to give mom a kiss before he went to work and she punched him in the face because she just wasn't ready for it. And after that, he wrote her notes. He never tried to give her a kiss on the forehead ever again.
He's like, man, we're moving on from that.
Will not get punched in the face again.
But for the reality behind this story, there's not really one single killer in the backseat case, but there were many real incidents that feed this legend. Especially in the early 1960s through the 1980s, police were documenting cases where escaped prisoners were hiding in the backseats of unlocked vehicles. Attackers were entering cars while drivers were distracted. Gas station, grocery store,
That's still a
whatever
thing.
else. And then assailants remaining unseen until the driver is isolated. So they're literally getting in an unlocked vehicle, hiding, and then waiting until
You're not in that
and then
crowd.
attacking you. So, in at least one documented incident, police discovered a suspect hiding in the back of a vehicle before the attack could occur, thankfully. But this type of legend is kind of what sparks the hook,
Yeah.
the hook type killer that people envision that I would think of. But there's no dramatic reveal or anything like that. It's just some scary person and just the horrifying truth that being in a car alone is very vulnerable and your backseat is a blind spot because when you're facing forward, you can't see into your backseat. You have to physically look in your backseat.
Yeah.
And that alone is an uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
When I feel I feel like there could be somebody back there.
Do you crawl all the way back to your hatch sometimes?
No,
I
I
would.
just,
I would.
it takes me a build up
Turn around.
to turn around because I'm like, if there is somebody here, they're going to kill me as soon as I turn around. To be fair, I don't think a human can get into my back seat because there's so much shit in there.
Mine?
Still left over from Christmas, but
My car has like all the safety locks on.
mm-hmm,
For like when I walk up to my car and unlock it, it only unlocks my door.
mm-hmm.
Drives Aaron nuts. And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm alone, you prefer it like this, right? Like if we're in my car together, he's like, oh my God, unlock the door. And I'm like,
Mine does it too.
Safety feature?
Yeah.
No.
No, thank you.
But I turn around immediately. Like as I'm getting in my car, I look in my back seat. Like I don't just like walk up, open my door and get in. I like look into my car as I'm getting in.
Yeah.
Because I normally like throw something into my driver or my passenger. I'll throw like my purse, or like today when I leave here, I'll throw my bag over there.
Mm-hmm.
Or I open my back door. I put stuff in my back seat all the time. Like that was
Yeah, I do
actually
too.
in my back seat
Mhm.
today. And so I normally do check anyways.
My back seat is where I put my backpack from work. So when I walk up to my car, that's the first thing I do is open my back door and put my backpack in
Parking garages are just as dangerous though.
I know.
When I lived in Lubbock, I lived in an apartment with a parking garage, and they literally like when you're signing your lease and you pay for a parking spot in the garage, they go over parking garage safety with you.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, always check the cars like beside you and underneath them when you're walking up to them to make sure and
Mm-hmm.
XYZ.
I remember learning that at some point too, and always like remembering that with me. There's also a story of an old coworker of mine who never locked her vehicle
No, why?
and went out to her car at the end of her shift to leave.
There's a homeless
There
man
was a
asleep?
homeless man asleep in the back seat of her car.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that where you're at.
No.
Uh-uh.
Lock your freaking doors. She still didn't lock her doors after that. I'm like, girl,
Why? Why not?
just because. And like, she's like, he was just asleep. And I'm like, okay, well,
dirty.
dirty. He could be crazy.
Yeah.
He could have a weapon.
He could literally be coming down from something and hurt you.
Right. She was not scared of anything. Like that girl, fearless. Loved her to death. But I was like, you have to lock your car.
Lock your car.
There's never a time where I don't walk away from my car in the parking garage and click that button 17 times.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 and make sure that hoe is locked.
That's one of my defense mechanisms. Like, I'm home alone enough. And the other night, Biggie started barking and it was 2 a.m. and I was like, hello?
You're like setting your car alarm off.
I went and locked my car because the only part of my house that I feel like someone would break into is the back corner of my house, because the rest of my house, I live on a corner. So the rest of my house is seen by other houses. And like my front porch light covers my porch is my whole entire front of my house. So when that light is on, which I keep on 24/7, then that would be really difficult for someone to break into any of the front of my home or the side of my home, but the back. So anytime I get uncomfortable, I go lock my car. But it's also like letting people know, like, I'm awake.
Mm-hmm.
Don't break into my house.
Yeah.
And so the other night I fell asleep with bear spray and
Oh yeah, you told
my
me that
car
the other day. You
keys.
said I woke up with my car keys and bear spray
Yeah.
this morning.
But it was because it was so windy outside. It was making a lot of noise and Biggie kept barking and it made me uncomfortable. So I was like, this is going to make me comfortable enough to go to bed, because if someone does break in, they're getting squirted with a bear spray. And I've got my car keys. But I also used to sleep with my car keys. 1, because they say to set your car alarm off if you feel uncomfortable. 2, in case I need to run out of my bedroom window, I have my car keys.
Yeah, you don't have to be like, shit.
I mean, I keep them at my back door, but like, because I park in my back.
Mhm.
But I'm like, I wouldn't have to run past anybody. I can jump out a window and already have them.
See ya.
But the other part of that is I sleep in nothing but underwear.
Sleep with the robe next to you.
Yeah.
I always get made freaking fun of because I wear a robe all the time. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm never naked when I get out of bed.
Yeah. No, I like, well, I normally wear a shirt to bed and then I just throw it on the bed. So there's normally like something around
Something
me.
close by.
I'm like, there's a jacket and I think 2 shirts on the bed where I've been sleeping. And
My robe is like my comfort.
I don't have one. I want one.
Love that hoe.
Nash used
It's
to
not
wear,
even mine. It's my husband's.
well, Nash wore one. We used to call him Hugh Hefner because he's like 9 walking around in his robe and underwear. And he wore his robe on his bike and got it caught in the tires.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got a new one or not.
I love that. I love a robe. I always end up stealing my husband's because they're
Your
thinner.
mom always had robes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Female robes are so thick and bulky. Male robes are not. So, and they're longer.
I feel like I would not like it.
Love. So story number 3 is kind of an extension of this one. It's the story of the Hook Man that we all hear. Two teenagers parked at night, Lover's Lane. A radio announcement comes on about an escaped killer with a hook for a hand. Then they hear the scratching noises on the outside of the car. They try to run. And then later they find that there's a hook hanging from the door handle with, blood dripping from it. Classic Hookman story. But the reality of this is that there was never a confirmed hook hand killer stalking lovers' lanes, but the behavior behind the story is very real. So mid 20th century police reports show many attacks at secluded parking spots, assaults on couples in parked cars, which I think we've gone over a case
Phantom
before.
Killer?
Yeah, the Phantom
You did
Killer.
the Phantom Killer.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say there was
Zodiac also,
one. Yeah.
Like immediately too that you could think of.
And then also escaped or roaming violent offenders frightening communities that, they're like, oh, well, this guy escaped from a maximum security prison and he's armed and dangerous. So
Good luck.
But the hook in this story is not literal, but people speculate that it represents injury. It represents disfigurement, or the fear of someone who doesn't look normal.
Yeah.
So the danger itself isn't the fictional story, but the image has just made it easier to remember for people.
A lover's lane is so real.
Mm-hmm.
They're so scary,
Mhm.
but they are every single city has it. I don't know. I'm like, every teenager has gone to a lover's lane, but I can't say that because most teenagers went on dates to the movie theaters, and I never not one single time went on a date to a movie theater.
I did when I was probably in like elementary school.
I never did. Ever. Never went on a movie date. But that's like a stereotypical teenage thing, is to go to the movie theater.
Yeah.
And once you get your driver's license, to make out in the car.
Yeah.
Like, that is so stereotypical. And I don't know why. I guess because your parents don't let you make out in your bedroom.
Correct.
So you make out in
I'm
a car
like,
instead.
I did that.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. But it's like,
there was never like a lover's lane
yeah, there is.
spot. I know the spot. I know where it is.
I'm like, yeah, there is.
I know there is. Never went there specifically.
I did, but it was never like with never went there with like a person, like a partner.
We went there together.
Yeah, I'm like, I'd go up there to listen to music and like hang out with friends.
Yeah.
But I never went up there like to make out.
I think the only time I ever was up there was with you. So like I know where it's at, but like,
yeah, I never went up there to like make out with anybody. There was other places for that, but
period.
slay. My husband's listening. I'm sorry. I love you. Sorry, I've never.
I was with my husband, so
yeah, I'm like, that's why you're like, I have stories, and I'm like, yeah, well, you were with your husband at that time, so. My husband's gonna listen and be like, oh, you bitch, you made out with another man.
Yeah, when I was 16.
Yeah.
So the last urban story legend that I'm going to talk about is the vanishing hitchhiker. So this is an interesting one that I haven't actually really heard of that much. But when I started to read it, I was like, oh, this is really interesting.
I've wanted to do a story over it like a lot because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of urban legends.
Well, good. This will be a good little setup about it then.
Yeah.
Because this is just like skims the surface. So the vanishing hitchhiker legend is, the story goes like, a driver picks up a hitchhiker late at night.
Mm-hmm.
They talk, they have conversation, and then the passenger is gone. And then sometime later, the driver figures out some way or another that that person either one doesn't exist or died many years ago. And so that's creepy. But the thing is that psychologists and historians believe that this legend comes from a mix of real fatal accidents along these stretches of roads and highways, exhaustion and poor visibility of these drivers, and memory reconstruction after stressful events.
Oh. And
there are documented cases of drivers who are giving rides to people in distress, misremembering faces or conversations, like not being able to like retell it.
Yeah.
And being like, was that real or not? And then discovering later that something tragic, like a wreck or an auto pedestrian accident or something along those lines, something tragic had happened near those spots where they're picking up these people.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. But highways are very like liminal spaces. And when you're driving those long hours, especially at night, usually if you're driving at night, you're driving home from work or you're driving for a road trip or, you've been on the road for a while.
Yeah.
Or you're tired. And so sometimes your brain just fills in those gaps and sometimes it's just not right. Sometimes it's very wrong.
And there's no street lights on highways,
Mm-mm.
especially, I mean, at least not in Texas. I guess there might be somewhere else, but when you're on these back road like highways, like essentially you live off of a highway,
Mhm.
I live off of a highway, not a street light in sight.
No.
But even like I'm thinking of like when I used to drive back and forth between Lubbock, like even on the interstate, there's no lights.
I'm thinking of the drive from here to Galveston. Also,
Oh, yeah.
same. There's no
Nothing.
on those big long stretches of highway.
Yeah. No, there's not. But even now they say like if you do see someone on the side of the road, do not pull
Mm-mm.
over. Especially like where my husband's out working, they say do not stop for a single thing where he's at. Because he's in the oil field. So he's been told, like, especially and he's in New Mexico, when you're near El Paso, they say do not stop.
Yeah, there's a stretch in between here and there where there's a like a high security prison, and there's also a mental hospital.
Yeah, there was somewhere. So I had to go from Lubbock to El Paso. So I went through New Mexico and down. And at one point in time, which thankfully I was going to go alone. And it was when I was dating my like college boyfriend. And it was when I was dating him. And very thankfully I did not go alone, but I was going to go alone. And he was like, no, I'll go. And so thankful. But we didn't take our guns or any like a handgun or any protection or anything because we knew that you have to go through a certain border like thing there. And we didn't know if we were going to be able to like
get through,
take it, if it would be okay. And which he was 21 and like had his concealed carry and everything. But it was like we didn't know if we were going to be allowed to. Like we didn't know. So we didn't take anything. And Murphy and Mom and everyone said the same thing. Like, don't stop for anybody. Don't do anything. Like, just get there. Make sure you get gas before you get to like the last stretch of highway, all of that. And we did. We had someone behind us flashing their lights at us, trying to get us to stop. And we just kept driving.
Oh, no.
We just kept driving. And they eventually like
Went
fell
away.
off. But they were like getting up on us and then they would go off. They got around us at one point and hit their brakes and we went back around them. And they were like flashing their lights at us and stuff. And I was like,
hate that.
yeah. And I was like, something in my car would be telling me if there was something wrong in my, because we were in my 4Runner. And I was like, my tire light would be on, like something would be on. We are good. Keep driving.
Oh, I hate that.
And it was dark outside. It was nighttime now.
Yeah. So you can't see into
No,
the
and
other
it was when you're
vehicle.
out like in the New Mexico, like
Middle of the desert.
we were in the desert where there's like the mountainous ranges,
Mhm.
which it's New Mexico mountains, but we were in that part of it where there's nothing.
Oh, God. I hate that so much.
Yeah. And I was like so thankful I wasn't alone. So thankful.
Oh my God. I would have been freaking out.
Yeah. I mean, even in the situation I was in, I was still freaking out
Yeah.
because we had no protection.
Alone,
But if I was alone, it would have been way worse.
I hate that. It's so you have many fears. One of my biggest fears
Is that?
is getting shot while driving
That is a
for
huge
no
fear.
reason.
Yeah.
Like
no.
when somebody starts driving weird behind you, coming up next to you, going back behind you, coming up next. Like,
I still
why
don't
are you
stop
doing that?
next to people
I don't
at
either.
stoplights. I still will stop like this.
I do too, because I'm afraid that somebody's just going to be like,
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, I think Richard Ramirez did that to someone or tried to. It happened. I don't know if we've told the story on here or not, but it happened when your mom was in Midland. Aaron, I just left Midland.
Yeah, we did talk about it a little bit.
There was
An
a guy
active
who,
shooter.
yeah, there was a guy who got fired from, he was a sand hauler or something like that. And he got let go that morning and he lost it in Midland. And he, I guess like, I don't know, he went and got his guns or something. And he drove the same stretch of highway that my husband would have been driving on if he was on the opposite shift.
Yeah, and he was just driving up and down and
literally
just
shooting
people.
everybody. So Aaron was on days because Aaron, whenever he came, when he was going back to his apartment, he was like, you saw the vehicles were shot up. You saw blood on the side of the vehicles. Like there was a few body bags. Like he was like, that was so scary. And I remember like watching the news report on it because I had been in Midland that morning. And when Aaron went to work, I went back to Lubbock. And if not, I would have been right there too. Like,
Yeah.
And not necessarily, he did end up getting stopped in the Synergy movie.
I was going to say he got stopped at some movie theater.
It was the Synergy.
which is right across the street from where my mom's apartment was.
Yeah. And see, but not thankfully, I guess, but he got stopped at the one in Odessa, but Aaron lived behind the one in Midland. And that's where I would have been. And so when I heard Synergy, I was like, oh my God, I was
He's
right
right there.
And then I was like, oh, okay, well, he was 20 minutes down the road, but still I was like,
Yeah, you just never know.
yeah, that's a fear of mine as well. Cause you don't.
Somebody
like,
could be going through something.
yeah. I hope I just don't look like the person that you want to shoot.
No.
Smile at everybody.
Yeah. I just be in my own little world. I just be jamming out.
Yeah. I really try not. I will not. Like if I can not stop next,
Yeah,
like
me too.
directly next to someone, I won't. I think a lot
Me
of
too.
drivers are like that though, because I don't, even if I'm stopped first, I still don't feel like a lot of drivers stop directly next to me either.
Mm-mm.
But I'm scared of it there. It happened after one of the NFRs or after one of the rodeos. A guy did it and he ended up shooting like a guy, and his daughter got shot in the process as well in his truck. And the dad drove to the hospital like with his shoulder shot or something like that and got them to the hospital. And he said it was a random thing there too.
Yep. That was a couple years ago.
Yeah. So I avoid road rage. My husband loves road rage. And I'm like, you're going to get a shot.
You're going to get us killed.
I
almost got us killed once.
So I'm like, I don't use my car horn or anything. Murphy won't use her car horn either. Unless it's like, okay, the light is green and I'll kind of doop. But even then I'm like, I'll wait. I'm not in that big of a hurry.
I'm not in a hurry. Well, I was the one who got honked at. And so I kind of like threw my hands up a little bit because it literally just turned green. That person did not like that. Chased me down Rosedale. Came to the next stoplight, drove in between the intersection, in the middle of the intersection of 8th Avenue and Rosedale, gets out of his car, starts walking up to my vehicle, screaming and hollering horrible things to me and Damien. Did not have the piece in my glove box that I usually have in my glove box.
Yeah.
And my husband went to reach for it to open it. We were driving to work and it wasn't in there. And he just looked at me and I looked at him and I said, don't move. Don't make a face. Just look forward. And we just sat there and waited for him to get back in his car and leave. And then I was like, we just almost died.
Great.
We 100% almost died.
Yeah.
It was so scary. So scary.
Yeah. So cars are scary. I inherently, like, I lock my doors. But your hitchhiker story, there's a lot of haunted highways. And the like very, very, very first episode of Supernatural isn't necessarily a haunted highway, but it's like the ghost would get in the car and then would like direct the car and like could drive the car, but she would be in the back seat and then she would vanish, or she would get picked up, and if a man, she would see if they had a wedding ring on, and then she would try and come onto them, and if they would like come back onto her, she would kill him. Woo! And it eventually was like that her husband had cheated on her or something, and she had killed her kids, or they had died and she killed herself, but it was a whole like she would get in the car with people and kill them if they didn't. But yeah, there's a lot of haunted highways. Tons of
That'll
haunted
be an
highways.
interesting one to do one day.
Yeah. And I think that was on a Ghost Whisperer episode as well. But it was a guy had been in a tragic accident and no one could find him. And so he would get in cars with people and then he would eventually vanish out of the back seat. And it did eventually lead people to going and finding his car and his body.
That's cool.
I think that was the plot.
That seems
like Charlie St. Cloud. How that movie is.
Ugh, that movie's so sad. Don't get me started.
I love that movie.
But those are all of the stories that I have. But I think what's so interesting about like these urban legend type stories is that, you know, they don't, like I mentioned in the beginning, they don't just start out of nowhere. It's not just a like form of entertainment that people have just like come up with. Like it's basically like a warning.
Yeah.
Type, like just to be aware of your surroundings, and just like pay attention, because these things do happen and they can happen, because there's documented cases, there's near misses, it's just these terrible things that happen. And then the story, as it's told throughout the years, the story changes, things get exaggerated, but the core of the story stays the same.
Yeah. There's
something dangerous, and if you don't pay attention, this could happen to you.
It's very scary to me that there's people who don't have like gut instincts or don't listen to their gut instinct. Because I think there's a lot of things, like not necessarily like a 13-year-old. I don't know if she could necessarily avoid it. But there's so many gut instincts. If you just listen to it, like your body will be telling you something is wrong. Do not do that right now. And if more people listen to that, I think that a lot more people would save themselves some grace. I think it's the burnt toast theory, where it's like, like the people who were late to work on the day of 9/11, and then it turned out that it was a good thing they were late to work that day. There's a lot of things like that.
Yes.
Where like, I will listen to my belly. If it says we are not leaving the house today, we are not leaving the house today.
Yeah. There's a reason.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I saw a video the other day, and it was this girl, and she was leaving her apartment and her key got kind of stuck in the door and did some goofy shit, and she unlocked her door and walked right back inside. She said, something told me not to.
We're done today. We are done today.
Yeah.
Yikes. It's real though. It's so real.
Yeah. When I think of the babysitter story, I think of the Villisca Axe murder house
Mm-hmm.
because they just hid out in the attic.
Yep.
And that's scary to me. I check everywhere all the time. I check every nook and cranny of my home.
Mhm.
I'm like, no one can fit under my bed, but I'm going to look anyway.
I'm going to look anyways. If I feel something's off, I'll do like a walkthrough, but that's rare for me.
Not me, but I'm home alone a lot.
Yeah.
So I do my check throughs.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Smart of you.
And I still like, even in my own
And that's
home,
because of things like this.
yes. And
that have
having
instilled that fear in you.
situational awareness.
Yeah.
Have it.
There's a certain fear in things you can't see, isolation, chance.
Yeah. I'm like, knowing I'm a small girl,
Mm-hmm.
that alone.
Yep.
That's my husband is, one day I said he was 6'3" on here and he was like, you really did me good. And he's like, I'm like 6'1". And I was like, oh, do you want me to get on the podcast and correct it?
tell
And
everybody.
he was like, I mean, so corrected. But he's taller than me, okay?
Yeah.
And he looks tall to me because I'm like 5'1.5". That's one thing I also get curious about. I'm like, I wonder if people see us on here and they're like, oh, they look really tall or really short. And then if they saw us in person, they'd probably be like, oh, y'all are kind of small.
You're small.
Like, I wonder. But anyways, aside from that, he is just like a big dude. He's never worried about like his surroundings. He doesn't have to. And so there's certain things I say and he's like, why are you worried about that? And I'm like, have you never had, you haven't been a small blonde girl walking around a grocery store.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know that feeling.
Yeah. You don't know how it feels. Cause he would be like, I don't understand that. And I'm like, well, let me describe it to you.
Let me tell you. I'll tell you why I'm scared.
Yeah.
Let me pull out my list.
Yeah. The SpongeBob scroll.
Yeah, exactly.
Cause there is certain things like I don't go to Walmart alone. I know you do. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I do not go to Walmart alone. But I got followed in the Lubbock Walmart and that about did me in. So I don't
Yeah.
go to Walmart alone. There's been a lot of stories about the Weatherford Target on the Weatherford Facebook community page.
Oh, I just ignore it.
I don't. But that's also one of those things where it's like, have situational awareness. Like whenever I was in Lubbock and I got followed
Yeah.
throughout the store, I went and found an employee immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like the employee was like slowly doing like watches, like not beside me to like see what would happen. And the person left me alone. But I ran into another person on the, cause I needed to buy a pot, like a cooking pot. And so
But you couldn't get there.
yeah. And so I was on that aisle and another like person came up to me and he was really nice. And it was this guy. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of scared right now. I was like, I was just getting followed by this guy. And he was like, oh my God, honey, let me walk you to your car.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to walk you out. And I was like, I don't know about that either. He was like, I'll walk at a distance and everything. I swear, like dial 911 on your phone, like made me feel very comfortable.
Yeah.
Like he was like, have it ready. Like whatever makes you feel comfortable, but I'm going to watch you.
I'm going to watch you get to your car.
And he did. And he was very nice. He like kept his distance and everything. Cause I was like, I don't know. Like, cause that made me nervous
You're
too.
like, no, I'm scared all the time.
Yeah. But I still had pepper spray and everything. But he was like, put it on 911, girl. Like whatever makes you feel good. But it was scary. Cause the guy, like, I was on that. Have I told you that story? I was just like on the aisle and he walked up with his hands in and a hoodie on and just like looked at me and I turned around and then he kept staring at me and I was like, oh, I'm in danger. And so I like walked off. I'm in danger. So I walked off and then I kept seeing his hood and I was like,
I don't like this.
yeah, when I called Aaron and told him about it, he was like, girl, you're over exaggerating. You're fine.
You're like, okay.
And I was like, no, he was following me.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. You don't run into people like that at the store like that.
No. This exact reason is why we're scared of everything, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it's instilled that permanent fear in us.
To be fair, our father raised us like that immediately.
Yeah, it's also true. But yeah, I think it's fun to be able to tie some of these cases to real documented things.
Yeah.
Fun
and scary.
Yeah, fun and scary. But not like heavy murdery.
Yeah.
You know? So it's good.
Pay attention to your
pretty-
I'm like, pay attention.
Yeah.
That's really
Just
pay attention. Do what you can.
But that's all I have today.
It was good. I liked it. It's
Yay!
different.
I'm glad.
I know a lot of people like our episodes like this when we just yip yap. So
Mhm. Yeah.
it's good to throw these in.
I agree. Needed that.
Every time I tell my mom it's an episode where I read, she's like, ugh, ugh.
You're like, well, at least I'm giving you a warning.
Oh, some of them you have to read.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, so you don't miss anything.
yeah.
For
And if
sure.
it's like telling someone else's ghost story, you can't like preface that or whatever.
No.
After the last one, she's like, you did read well. I was like, well, thank you, mother. I appreciate. Thank you.
Appreciate the support.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Join our Discord. It's completely free. We're in there. If you send a message, I'm probably going to reply within 2 seconds. I usually always have my phone on me. questions, topics, conversation, if you're bored, if you're lonely.
Anyways, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all the good things, and we will see you
Next week.
Bye.
Bye.